Welcome to Friday Ride. Today is going to be a combination of car and scooter. Hello, babe. Here we go. I'll let Bella out first. What do you guys think? She's been a true champ. There you go, baby. There, sweetie. All right, we're good, huh? Are we good? Clean out them eyes for you, honey. All right, let's go. All right, so today we are out at the lake. This is Oo Reservoir. So it's a good sized lake. It goes back there a little ways, but I like the hills and just the scenery here. It's really surreal. It's calm. It's peaceful. You can see the snow up there between the saddle of those two hills in the far distance. Those are out in the Ochocos. So this is a beautiful area, and today we're going to finish up this apple sketch that we started last week, or we're going to try to. If we don't, that's okay. We can come back to it and do it the following week. We'll finish this apple up so we can get a full view of what these pencils are capable of. So I got myself a few pencils here to work with. Bella, make sure she stays around here a little bit. We're out here a little ways, so she can. There's really nobody here, or not on the side we're on. On the other side, there's some anglers fishing. Seen that as we were pulling up there, using the bike path there, coming up this way. There's a bunch of anglers over there by the dock, by the loading dock, but there's nobody over on this side. But yeah, I really like this spot, so we'll probably come out here frequently and chill. I'm just concentrating on getting this red in here now over this green on this side, like we did on the other side there. Yeah. That wagon towing everything up here on the bike was just, that was a dream come true right there. I was racking my brain wondering what to do next as far as trying to get stuff, to location. Because I do enjoy sketching out here, out in the open, out in the wind, out in the breeze, under the sun, by a tree, next to a lake with Bella. Just to me, it's peaceful. It's real. It's where nature lives. It's where things like we're drawing right here live. I do like the studio. The studio's fun. There's a lot of inspiration in that, but having the multi-faceted approach to, just having areas you can take advantage of and draw inspiration from can sometimes be the deciding factor of whether or not you get up and go do it that day or whatnot. And I think that's why I organize my playlist and I work from my playlists that way, because it gives me a couple days in the studio, which is an inspirational place for me as well as being out here. So it breaks up the monotony of just being in one spot all the time. For me, that's, you know, I want to keep moving. So I want to go out and do things and show you guys different places that inspire me as I was growing up, and you know, and that continue to inspire me, and places I'm familiar with and know quite a bit about, and I can share that knowledge with you about this area, about these areas. So, where do you guys like to sketch? Is there any of you guys like to go outside and, you know, go to different locations off, you know, outside of your home and or studio, office, and do sketching? Do people make you nervous when they're around? When you're drawing, does that bother you? You know, those kinds of things. If they do, I understand. I mean, I get it. So there's a reason why I do it, and a reason why I do it is because I like the challenge. I like to, you know, my motto is I don't fully rely on what goes through other people's heads about me or other people or about what they're seeing. I'll take it or leave it. And I do that. I come from that point of view through experience, through my own way of thinking, right? Honestly, if I seen somebody out kicking it with their cat and drawing and flying drones and, you know, messing around with lighting equipment and cameras and stuff like that, I would be full on interested. That would be interesting to me. In fact, I've seen it, and that's the reason why I am interested in it. That's the reason why I do it. Because it's interesting to me. It's interesting the different approaches that people take to art. And, you know, hanging out with a friend like art, I consider art a buddy, a friend, is surreal. And I like to take that friend to different places. We don't just hang out at my house all the time. We go out and do things. We go to the park. We go out to the lake like this and make memories, you know? You guys, this camera, this art, this picture right here, that's my family. That's my family. And Bella, of course. Which reminds me, where's she at? I think she's right down here. Hello, baby. She is on an adventure, you guys. And, you know, one of these Fridays here, we'll take off from sketching. I just really wanted to get this sketch going, and we'll follow her around with a metal detector and dig up some stuff so we can get inspired that way. That's pretty fun, repurposing things, giving it new life and new meaning through art, through movement, bringing it to life again through storytelling and animation. Here I'm just paying attention to how the colors are blending, how they're transitioning from light to dark areas. And I want to be mindful of the shape and the contour of the apple, so that as I move along here, I stay true to form with the apple. And I picked an apple for quite a few different reasons. One, I really like apples. I lived in an apple orchard when I was in my traveling days. I was a little bit younger. Stayed up in a town called Oroville, Washington, here on the west coast in the United States, up by the border of Canada. I think beyond that town there was Penticton and the Soyuz in Canada. We used to go visit because we lived right on the border there. But there was an apple orchard there, and a lot of apple orchards. It was all apple orchards. I don't know what it looks like today, but 20 years ago, or 30 years ago, it was a lot different. I did hear that they took a lot of the apple orchards out. But the apple orchards were nice. I mean, we used to be able to go through in there and just, you know, grab a apple right off the tree whenever you're hungry. I worked in a lot of those apple packing plants when I was younger. I was up there with my granddad, my grandpa, and my uncle. I moved up there initially with the intention of going to Alaska with my grandpa and my uncle because my grandpa had bought a piece of property up there. He was just waiting for some final stuff to go through before they went on up there. But I ended up falling in love and stayed there in Orville, and you know, everything happens for reasons. And ultimately, I found my way back home. So I mean, you know, this is where I'm from. So this is where I belong, I feel. So I do love it here. I love this area. I love the weather. I love the seasons. We have all seasons here. We don't skip any, so it's not dreadfully hot in the summer, nor is it dreadfully cold in the winter. It can get cold, but it's not bitterly cold. Not like a lot of people around the world experience, you know, in colder areas. But we do have this year we're having a mild winter, so it's really nice. Good timing. I just started this channel and I was actually wondering what I was going to do in the winter. I figured I would do a lot of studio stuff. I mean, I'm sure, you know, the ideas would come anyway. Either way, we'd have figured it out. But it's really nice to still be able to get out and to go do things like this right here, to enjoy this space and being out. So now what I did here was last week I used a little bit of a darker red for the apple, for the base. And this week I just figured I had this setup already ready. I had this pencil. So I figured, you know what, we're gonna switch gears and we're gonna go to that pencil, because this is actually my favorite pencil to color apples with. Last week we only had the portrait set with us, so we didn't have the access to this pencil particularly. So we made do with what we had. But, you know, I think it's all gonna work out, because I mean, it's kind of nice to layer those reds in here. I like that approach. I never done that way. I didn't. It's always been three colors: green, yellow, and red, and called it. But apples aren't always one. Apples aren't one color of red. So they're absolutely different colors of red, right? I can hear the water, the ambient sounds from just what nature produces here. I can hear the water lapping up against the shoreline there, making a constant sound of movement, reminding me that just because it's quiet doesn't mean that it's still, that there's no movement. There are vehicles out here, so when we drove up, you've seen a lot of that. And some of that noise there might be trucks backing up over on the other side of the park here. You know, a lot of this is just coming back over what we've already established in the drawing to bring it to life. We didn't bring the Gamsel or the Zest. I was thinking about doing that, and I completely forgot. But that's okay. I think what we're going to do is go ahead and use the white pencil approach anyway, so. We'll try the regular blender. How's this? We'll try the regular blender stick that comes with the Caran d'Ache pencils. And then we'll see how that's going. And then we can switch over to the white. I like the white because of the colors, what it does, you know, how it blends the colors. The different reds and blue and yellow, green and purple that we have in here for depth. It really creates some depth. Now would be a good time to go ahead and sharpen our pencil. Make sure that I get this inside something here so it doesn't go flying everywhere. Put it in with my eraser stuff. I'll be right back. Hey, sweetie. That'll be it. Just so we don't make a huge mess here. I don't want to make a mess. It's a nice area, and I want to help keep it that way. I do have a pencil extender. I think it's in my to-go bag there with my Prismacolor pencils. Oops. Sometimes you can get some broken lead up in there, right? It just doesn't. When you're sharpening these, you wanna go slow. We'll get it down to the lead, and then we'll turn the sharpener with it, not turning the pencil, just a sharpener, and we'll go nice and slow. Otherwise, you tend to break that lead. Man, she's just all over the place. She's clear over here. Just a minute ago, she was over there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. See that pencil right there? Split up the barrel. I think we're good though. So yeah, other reasons why color apples. I don't know. I've colored a lot of them. I like still lifes. I like different things. I like drawing all kinds of still lifes. Oranges, pears. Because a lot of times they just have, they have cool texture to me. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. It's the colors. It's the subtle shades of things. It just reminds me of how complex a simple object can be, really. I mean, just the complexity of, I think a lot of it's part of just narrowing it down, just to a more molecular level. Apples, a lot of people would associate that with an easier drawing, right? But it's so much more. It can start out easy. You can gain some confidence. But really, it's pretty complex fruit to draw. It's, the skin's got a lot of different textures and colors, and you can really spend some time with this and get it to look like something jumping right off the page, So. I'll come back over here and work this a little bit. This is why it takes a while. You got all those little fine tooths, and you want to. For me, I get it to where I see a certain sheen of the color bouncing off the surface of the apple, and then I know it's okay to go in and blend. And I usually do that when I got most of the white colored in, most of the little specks filled in, because when I go to burnish it or to flatten the tooth, I want it to drag some of this pigment into the empty areas. This paper that I'm using is meant for colored pencils. It's made by Legion, and it's called Stonehenge. So you can't read that very well probably, but it says the Stonehenge workhorse provided supple surface that's agreeable to a myriad creative disciplines. So, and it talks about especially colored pencils. So originally printmakers, this cotton paper soon spread across all drawing techniques, especially colored pencils. This is Stonehenge white. So I've gotten lots of tablets of this stuff. Actually lots, I got like 3 tablets of this, but that's a lot. For me, it's a lot of paper there for this size. But I tend to go for the bigger size, so I got a bunch of those tablets. I love this paper. And this paper is really good for airbrushing. Actually, if you don't hit it too hard, it's not you don't want to hit it with watercolor or anything really super wet. Markers are okay as long as you're not overdoing it, getting the surface super wet. It can handle some wet, but not like watercolor wet or anything like that. No, it's geared towards color pencil for sure. Charcoal maybe would do all right with this paper. But I do believe Legion has several different types of paper, so you go check it out. Check out. I have links in my description if you don't, if you want to just stay right here and go check it out. Go check it out that way. If you do anything down there, I always make sure that I make that kind of stuff accessible. For me, when I've watched a lot of YouTube, so I don't really, there's things that I don't really want to do on my channel, but then there's things that are like, that I found as a viewer very informative and helpful even, so if I'm looking for somewhere, I see somebody using something and I'm like, wow, that looks like it could really work in my workflow or, for something I want to do. The first thing I do as a viewer, and I've been watching YouTube for over a decade, and I like long form type content, but the first thing I do is go to their description, because I've been trained as a viewer to know that, a lot of, content creators will put those links and stuff in their description, which makes it super, super convenient for somebody like me that doesn't have to, I don't have to go track it down or do a bunch of extra research to find it. So yeah, and I appreciate that, and that's why I do it on this channel. That's why I want to have those links in there so that people can have easy access to the tools that I use. So everything I use here is going to be in the description. Some of the stuff is companies that I've recently become affiliated with that I've used through my art journey. So I absolutely, no hesitation, stand behind them and their stuff, because it's legit. Yeah, never had an issue with these pencils or any of the art supplies that I'll be using on this channel. And I want to try out new stuff too, so I'm not going to box myself in here, because I do want to try watercolors. I've never tried watercolors, and I want to, man. That looks fun. I got a friend that does the watercolor stuff on her channel, and when I watch her work with them, I'm like, oh man, I really want a set of watercolors. I always comment on her videos too. I'm like, I want to try watercolors now that I see that, kind of thing. And she just reminds me, you can buy them fairly inexpensive and this and that. But I just, I haven't gotten around to it. I want to, and I'm going to believe that. I'm going to try pastels, pan pastels. I've seen that stuff in other channels. I really like that too. I like pan pastels. I mean, I'm like, you know, kid in a candy store on YouTube, because they have great art channels and wonderful artists that are just, you know, great people on camera, and I'm sure off camera as well. You can just tell. So it's one of those things about life that reveals itself through their character. You know, for character, through getting to know somebody. You can get to know people through what they do. You know, the services they provide for people. I do this because I enjoy doing it. I don't do it because I look at it as work or anything like that. This isn't. I am disabled. I fell 35 feet back in 2016. So, in this country, in the United States, we pay into a thing called Social Security. I don't know what other countries would have in their countries as far as this kind of stuff goes. But if something happens, you know, like a on the job accident or something like, you know, that, you know, you pay into that through your paychecks. So over the years, whether you ever need to use it or not is another thing, or you get to use it when you retire. And our retirement age is, I believe, around 65. You can early retire around 62. But if you get hurt on the job, you know, and you can't go back to the same type of work due to just, you know, injuries, the injuries you sustained from the job on the job accident, then you'll qualify for that income. So, and that's what happened to me. I broke some bones that just you know, don't feel good when it gets cold outside, or when I spend too much time on them. You know, like my feet. You know, I have nerve damage on my feet, so if I spend too much time on my feet, in the course of, you know, a week, I'd give it a few days, I can really start telling in the way of weight bearing onto my feet. I have a hard time standing. So, and that's unfortunate. I mean, I'm okay. You know, it'll be all right. You know, where there's a will, there's a way. It doesn't bother me. It's just a body. I mean, that's how I am. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I'm grateful right now that I'm able to get up and get out here and put Bella on my back and do it with you know, minimal pain. You know, not excruciating pain or anything like that. So, you know, I've learned how that affects me. So I'm careful with that. All right, now that we got a lot of this red in here, I'm thinking what I want to do is I want to start burnishing it. We're not gonna burnish it with the red, because there's a couple different paths you can go here. Let's just, you know, let's point out the obvious. So I can keep going with this red and keep on layering and layering and layering and going a little bit more pressure every time I go over the same places. Or that's one way till it's finished, and that take quite a bit of time. All paths take quite a bit of time, with one being a little bit quicker, and that's with the gamsel and the zest. That's a little bit quicker, because if I hit that with gamsel and zest right now, I'd be done. It's over. But if I want to burnish it, it's just gonna take time. That's just how it is. Come out here and make that line a little more defined, because I'm going to come in with Polychromos and hit that. Now I'm going to keep that about where it is, and I want to start coming in on this she's so adorable. If you guys could see her. Hey, sweetie. She is so adorable. I want to come in on this stem and start coloring it in. So I'll look for an off-looking brown, a couple different browns, just to kind of get those shades in there. I think that's it right there. I'll go dark to light. I like working dark to light with colored pencils. Now what I'm going to do is I'm thinking of the stem as something that's round. So I'm not gonna go straight up and down with it. I'm gonna make curves. And I want it to twist and bend. So I'm not gonna have this completely dark all the way. I'm gonna have it proportioned from light to dark because it'll give it the illusion that it's 3D. That's where the values really do, their work for you. And sometimes they're just tiny little marks that you want to make there. You don't want to drown the. Just color everything. See, just by outlining it right there is probably enough. Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit darker. I'm gonna want that a little bit sharper. And again, if we don't finish this pencil today, I'll come back next week and do it. Every time I blow on this and I watch it back in the video when I'm in post edit, sounds like I'm spitting on my paintings. Sounds like I'm spitting on everything. I was just gonna let you guys go ahead and think that that's what I'm doing, but I'm not. It's not, I promise. And so I need to come up here and see where we're at on time. All right, we're okay. I'm teaching myself not to worry about time, but I think I'm always gonna worry about that. Just because, why I don't like to pay it much attention. I also don't like to ignore it because you need to respect time. You need to respect other people's time. And whatever that means. So now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to hover around that darker color we just put in there, because really what this is going to do is it's just going to look like the transition from that darker color into the next lighter color that we're going to put right next to this. And these things are so creamy. It's just like, they're so fun to work with because of that. It's insane. Yep, I love this pencil. Get so much control with these pencils. It's mind-blowing. Alright, then we'll come in with this lighter color here. And this will be the last of it. Alright. And this will be the tell-all for that stem. It doesn't have to all be colored in either, so I mean, you can always leave a little bit of white in certain areas just for for a bit of a highlight effect. It's okay. Or not. I mean, it doesn't matter. We're going to dial in this stem though before we leave it. That way all we need to do is come back with the Polychromos and make the lines really crisp. All I'm doing is I'm burnishing it, so I'm just making sure all the white is really pop in there. So I'm gonna go here with this color. Give it a little bit of a bruising on the stem there. Yeah. Okay. We have a stem. Okay. There. Now, what we can do, these are the blenders. So it's full blender. What you do is you sharpen them, and then you come in and you go to town, burnish it. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna burnish it a little bit, then we're gonna go in with the polychromos. Actually, let's go ahead and use the polychromos first, so we can get that line extra crisp. Okay. And there's a book I like to read. I'm reading this series. So it's a book by Brandon Sanderson. This one's it's called Oathbringer. This is book 3 of the Stormlight archive. If you guys like fantasy, this guy's a wonderful author. He's been able to hold my attention. It's a great book. Stormlight archive. You guys enjoy. Let's do what I want to do here. Let's find the closest colors that we're going to use. I see that one. I see this one. And then I see this one. Possibly. Yep. Before we do this though, we're gonna make a little quick swatch of this just to make sure that this is the pencil we want to use. And again with this one, same thing. Just gently turn that pencil sharpener on the pencil. Don't turn the pencil itself. Just tends to twist that barrel up and break the lead deeper down inside. So yeah, so before we do that, we're gonna come here. It's absolutely the color I'm looking for. I want to do these too. Yep. I got a pretty good eye over the years. I mean, being a house painter and doing touch-up paint, you know, and stuff like that on houses, you get pretty good at eyeballing stuff. It's never perfect, so it's always good to take a paint match. But I've painted a lot of houses. So I'm going to use this lighter red out here on the outside of the pencil, because that's where it's the lighter, you know, it's lighter out there. And I just want to get rid of all that fuzz that's on the edge of that apple. I can even come in and get a little more of that tooth with this pencil. So again, this pencil is great for the touch-up for the final stages of what you're doing. So you're just not going to get that with the Caran Dash. Caran Dash will not do that. I guess it will if you sharpen it and only go like a little bit and then sharpen it some more. Go just a little bit, sharpen it a little bit, You know, that's just, it's not a great way to do your workflow. So, nope. Just get yourself a set of Polychromos. That's right. These are like, you know, pretty standard pencil to grab if you're, you know, into pencil work and you wanna take it seriously. You know, people that sell their artwork use these pencils, so I would feel comfortable using these pencils, this paper, to sell artwork to anybody. I would do that. I'd feel comfortable doing that. You know, it's legit paper. It's legit pencils, and this drawing is going to last forever. It'll outlive a lot of us. I don't even know what the archival, you know, how long it, you know, nobody knows. I mean, it's just they haven't been out. It hasn't been enough time to fully test it. Not enough time's gone by to say, oh, this is when it'll stop, or you know, it'll not be any good anymore. It's almost like oil paintings. I mean, you know. Once you hit it with a varnish or something like that, it's locked in for life. It's not going anywhere. Now the darker pencil, I'm going to use on this side, where it's a little bit darker, right? On the outside of that apple. Let's just get that line. Nice crisp line that we can't get with the Caran Dash. So, anyways, I think we're getting close here to calling it. It's been a great little project here with this apple. Had a lot of fun making this with you guys. Belle and I enjoy the company, so it's surreal. Come in here and go back over this dark stuff with this pencil as well. Color in a little more of that white stuff. We might not even need to use the blender if we you know, wanted to go this way and do it. If we hit it with a blender right now, it wouldn't be as vibrant. It'd be a bit more muted, I guess, than if you burnished it with the actual pencil. That's why I tend to use the actual pencil. And what this is going to do is give those subtle markings that, you know, there might have been, you know, those are where the shadows are cast from where the surface of the apple isn't completely smooth. You know? So that's the story that's supposed to tell. We come out here into the slider stuff and do the similar things. Not too much though. Don't want to get too obvious with it. So lakeside drawing. This will help with that final shadow there on that side. And starting out with a green base there and going over it with the red really helps lock in a good shadow on that side. So, and spending the last moments with the Polychromos over here really, from Faber-Castell, really helped. They've been in business since 1761. It's a long time. That is a long time. I'm gonna have to bring out our Derwent set too and work using that. Derwent's a lot of fun too. So, and I do have some Derwent pencils here with me. And they're a great pencil too. I like the concept art on their tin. It's beautiful. There's a story behind that for the guy that actually made that. You know, was able to do the concept art for Faber-Castell. Okay. You have to tell yourself to stop sometimes. It's just the way it is. If you don't, then you're gonna drive yourself a little nuts trying to finish it. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do it to yourself. It's okay. I won't do it to you though. Just a few things I want to do, you know, to make sure that I'm going, when I come in with this blender, that it's gonna be okay. This being the lighter side of the apple, I'm gonna come in with this pink. Again, I'm using circular motions just to kind of get the coverage in there into those spots, into the white. I'll meet the red and I'll blend into the red a bit, just so there's no hard lines or hard transitions. I can even go over on top of the red a little bit, so that, you know, don't necessarily have that issue. I can even use the pink to burnish this. So, you know, there's another way going around it. I just do a little bit of that right now. Just where the light sources are, though, you know. Where it seems the lightest. I'm just going in, you know, straight up and down, little circles, kind of, more or less. Not full-on circles, but like eclipses or ellipses. Pausing wherever I see the white as I'm moving across the surface of the substrate. Whatever substrate you're using. In this case, it's cotton paper. Stonehenge, Legion. Excellent paper, great company. Sure glad that they take the time to make some really good paper. I really do. As an artist, appreciate that. There's other great papers out there, I believe. Bristol makes a good one. You guys got other suggestions, please feel free, leave them in the comments for other passerbyers or other people that want to come in and stay and get caught up and, you know, meet everybody. So I really see how this painting, this is a painting, really. I mean, I know it's a drawing, but it sure looked like a painting. I'll tell you that much. By the time you're done with it, just spend a little bit of time with it. Don't rush it. Just go with it. And you can really end up with, you know, something pretty nice, you know. For me with this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue making more apples, and it's gonna look like a pile of apples with the shading and everything else cast onto the other apples appropriately. So we're gonna stick with this drawing. Either way we look at it every Friday, right? So now we're not gonna call it a project. It's just gonna be something on a Friday. If we're drawing that day, it's gonna be, you know, we'll whip this out and do some work with the color pencils. Keeps us in different mediums, you know, keeps everything kind of cohesive, but also, you know, using different things, different materials. Just it's, you know, you get burnt out using one thing over and over again. It's great to get good at something, and that's what sketchbooks are really good for. So on Wednesday I do a Posca sketchbook because I'm new to Posca pens, and they intrigue me enough that I want to get, you know, I want to learn a good style with them, and learn how to draw with them. So I'm going to do an entire sketchbook with them, and I'll do that with different mediums. So just to get, you know, good with them, new to them. Hey, you know, I'm not under false pretenses that I'm some pro with them or anything like that. Because I'm not. I'm coming into it new, just like anybody else that's watched me work with them. Maybe they want to get themselves a set and work with me and do a sketchbook themselves, and we can grow together that way. You know? To me, that's what's fun about art, about doing art. Is you see somebody working with a certain type of, you know, art supply, and you're like, oh, I want to work with that, you know. And that's what that's my takeaway when I watch other artists, you know, what I consider my family and my friends as well. And if you're in those channels, you know, you guys know what I'm talking about. So you see some really nice stuff being done with watercolor, and you're like, man, you know, that's freaking beautiful. I would love to do that. You know what I mean? Because in the long run, my idea is to get a good printer and do prints. I'd like to get into making prints and stickers, and you know, I like clothing, so definitely I want to get hooked up with a Etsy, or you know, I think another one's, what is it, Redbubble or something like that, where you know, you can upload your designs and get some t-shirts and hoodies and hats, because those are things that I like to wear. So I like to get that stuff implicated into my workflow. Stuff I like to do. I like to create. I like to tell stories. I'm an artist. That's what I do. I tell stories. I create. I'm gonna push this video a little longer because we're so close now that it's just, if it goes an hour, I'll put timestamps in the video description so that you guys can bounce around. And I know I'm saying that kind of late, but I say that in every video, so if you do watch my videos, you've caught on by now. And I know my audience is intelligent enough to look down in the description to see those things. I'm not going to push you that direction too often, but every once in a while I'll just say something, just in case, you know, because I do know the digital divide is real, and not, you know, not everybody's been watching YouTube for 10 years. Maybe somebody's just new to it, you know. They're new to social media, so you know, they need that guidance. So that's what that's for. That's just to gently help somebody, yeah, a neighbor that might be struggling with trying to figure out, you know, all the benefits of being a part of a community like this. Whether it be comments made by viewers, other knowledgeable viewers, or more information in the description, you know, about, you know, things. So, yeah, we're almost there, you guys. I just need to get this last little bit here tied in, and we have got a finished piece. Well, finished this apple anyway. And we're going to do about 5 or 6 more behind it. So, and this is the use case for the Polychromos. It's going to be the last thing you throw on there, and you know, it'll tie everything in and make everything just crisper. The Caran d'Ache are a buttery smooth, and that's another thing with the Derwent. So the Derwent will do the similar thing there. So But just Polychromos is something I first was introduced to, and it's the first set I bought. And just I'm a little partial. I'm a little partial to using them. But you can get the same or similar results with other pencils. So don't lock yourself into just Polychromos because somebody else is using them. Do your own research, and it'll help you make a more informed decision for the direction you want to go. Because these are an investment. You know, these are something you invest in because they're pricey and they're not cheap. So it's not a cheap set of pencils. You're looking at hundreds of dollars for the cost of pencils. That's not cheap. But there you go, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think we're about there. I'll see you. I'll see you next Friday. Same time, same place, same concept. And we'll hang out. We'll have a chat. I don't know where we'll be next week, so just stay tuned and come and check it out. But there it is, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. From me and Bella, peace.